Now with breaking news. This is WAFB.
Good morning, I'm Allison Herrera. Breaking out of Belgium. Authorities are still sorting out details after this morning's attack in Brussels. After one bombing at a metro station and two at the Brussels airport, dozens are dead and hundreds remain injured. Flights are now suspended and the community remains on lockdown and high alert. We will continue updating you on this tragedy as we closely follow it. 23 parishes across the state are handing out disaster food stamps. Yesterday was the first day open for applicants, and officials are continuing this process today. In our area, these food stamps are only for people affected by flooding in Livingston and Tangipahoa parishes. If your last name begins with the letters E through K, you can begin applying today. Tomorrow is for those with the last name starting with the letters L through R. The rest follows on Thursday.
We've had a pretty even flow of people. No backup as far as lines go. Everything is going pretty well.
Ascension Parish is also in the disaster declaration, but so far no benefits are available. Check out WAFB.com to see a full list of disaster aid locations. Although many homes and businesses are taking a toll from flooding, there is still one more problem. Standing water is what people are worried about. State health officials are warning that this historic flooding can attract excessive mosquito breeding. This is a health risk because these insects carry diseases such as West Nile and the Zika virus. Experts say the main concern is West Nile. The Zika virus is mainly a result from travel to and from South American countries.
There's a risk, but it's very low right now. We've seen very few imported cases to the state so far, and it takes an imported case to set off transmission.
Experts say as temperatures heat up, mosquitoes begin to populate. They say it's a plus we're experiencing cooler weather right now, so that mosquito rise in temperature population is delayed for a while. A Senate committee will address possible changes for Louisianians' IDs. Later today, the Transportation, Highways, and Public Works Committee will discuss Real IDs driver's licenses. This law requires state IDs to have enhanced identification information in order to fly at select airports. Governor John Bel Edwards supports this push for Louisiana legislation to comply with federal security law. Now check this out. One teenager in the Big Easy is now a hero after applying for a job. Devin Washington says in the middle of his interview at Popeyes, someone tried robbing the restaurant. Now witnesses say the 6'4" teenager jumped in after the suspect tried getting away after attempting to grab cash from a register. Washington says he did not think twice, and before he knew it, the suspect was under control with his hands behind his back.
I was thinking like it could be my mom, it could be anybody's mama. So like you had you got to protect somebody.
Those who are close with Washington say they are not surprised the 18-year-old saved the day. His former classmates say Washington stopped fights back in the day from breaking out. Of course, Popeyes offered Washington the job and he will begin working when he's out of class. As we roll into Easter weekend, many families are preparing plans, and that means cooking seafood.
Phones, and I'm being honest with you, it hasn't stopped, and the orders are just coming in like crazy.
Seafood restaurants and vendors are expecting some of their highest orders of the season this coming weekend. As seafood is popular throughout Good Friday and Easter Sunday, restaurants are preparing for these increased orders. Now, crawfish prices even increased 25 cents overnight in one area, but of course, crawfish prices vary from a day-to-day basis as restaurants try to meet customers' demands. Speaking of the Crescent City, Jazz Fest is drawing near. Officials in the Big Easy just released the coveted cubes. Now these Jazz Fest cubes reveal the times and stages you can catch your favorite artists performing. This year, artists such as Paul Simon, Stevie Wonder, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and so much more are performing throughout this two-weekend music festival. Now it all begins on April 22nd and ends May 1st. Now check this out, this isn't your typical artist. One service dog dropout in New York has taken up a new hobby: painting. Dagger doesn't get excited for walks or a game of fetch. Instead, this pup enjoys channeling his inner Picasso and experimenting with colorful paints. This 3-year-old black lab is actually holding the tools inside of his mouth.
He always lays down next to me, and one day he was nudging me, and I said, "Do you want to paint, Dagger?" And his tail started to wag. He was so excited to see the brushstroke on that canvas. It was almost as if his whole world had opened up.
All the proceeds Dagger raises goes towards Canine Companions for Independence, which is where he's actually from. Coming up on the Big Extra Hour on WBXH, the FDA is stepping in and moving against tanning salons. Find out details next, but first, Diane is going to take a look at your forecast.